Hey Scrappy friends, Helen here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is day 19 of 30 days of sketches. I'll have sketch details for you when we get to the desk. Now this video was recorded at the Warrington crop ran by Sarah from Hey Little Magpie, and so the lighting isn't what it usually is, so bear with me with that. Before we get to that, if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I next post a video. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you've enjoyed. That out of the way, let's get scrapping. So I'm using Spellbinders Kelly Bangs, is it? Just Sayin collection for this, and yeah, I thought it was about time I shared my final series 17 video, seeing series 18 starts on Sunday. So I'm starting with this big floral, and I'm going to do a white mat in the middle. That changes. I regret gluing it down. Ends up very thick, lots of layers because I regret gluing it down. But you'll see what I mean later. So I trim this down. I think it's a 10-inch square. And then I gut the paper, so I'm measuring in, I think it's about 2.5 inches from the side, taking the trimmer down from 2.5 inches to 9.5, and then back up, and then just turning it and doing that. So I've got a square cut out of the middle to use for another project because that is just gorgeous background paper. So yeah, got that trimmed out in the middle, and then we glue the white square onto the frame, which the frame's a mat, not a frame, because of the way around I've glued it. So we'll get that glued down. Yeah, glued it down because I was certain this is what I wanted to do. You'll see later how that changes. But it's not coming back off when I change my mind. I don't even try. You'll see in a bit. It must be 10 by 10 because I'm doing an inch in from the side for putting that down. Okay, so just getting the paper out now. These are fab papers, super bright and funky. So I'm just pulling out 4 pieces. So I've got the pink, the it's like a greeny colour. I'm not going to say what it reminds me of. And the darker green with lots of the colours from the big piece in there. So I'm going to cut each of these into, I think they're 4-inch squares. Yeah, I think they are 4-inch. So I'm doing a 4-inch square out of each piece. So cutting a 4-inch strip, turning it, and we've got a 4-inch square. So I do that with all 4 of the pattern papers to give me those 4 background squares that you can see on the sketch I've got there up at the on the left. So yeah, so that's those done, and then sip of tea. I go and get a paper plate off the refreshments trolley and choose another piece to go in the middle. I think I do want it's got a white background, yeah. So I use kind of like this bokeh dot effect one, and I'm just going to draw around the plate for a circle. It's a little bit bigger than on the sketch, but I'm happy with how it turns out. It's the only one we've got there. I've no idea why I was looking up at my camera then. I think I was checking something. I missed that when I was editing the video. I am sorry. Yeah, so we've got a big circle in the middle. I go to start sticking things down, and then I was like, I don't like it. Don't like it. I stick them all down, and I'm thinking it needs something else. So they do all get pulled up. There we go. So grab some black card out of my bag, and I am going to mat all of these squares on a piece of black. So we're going to trim down. I think I do 4 1/4. I don't think it's 4 1/8. I think it is 4 1/4 squares. So yeah, and then I mat each of these squares on black. I've then got the whole, oh wait a minute, I've not got a mat between the background piece and the white. What am I going to do? And you'll see what I'll do in a minute. Because
because that white piece is not coming back up. Okay, so what I decided to do, because there's absolutely no way I can pull that up off the background paper, so I get another piece of black, I trim it down to, I think it's 10.5 inch square. I trim this down 10.5 inch square, and I cut another white piece that is 10-inch square again. So I cut another 10-inch square. I'm going to layer these over the original white piece, so I've got a black border. So why do 10.5 when the squares are matted on 1/4? I don't know. I might have done 10.25 then maybe. But yeah, I've matted a fresh white piece, a fresh 10-inch square white piece onto a black piece, and then I'm sticking that down over my original white layer. And you'll see that now. There you go. And then I am going to pop those squares back on. And then it's the, oh wait a minute, am I gonna, can't mat circle, so I get the Memento ink out, and I'm just rubbing the Memento ink, black ink, around the circle, so it gives that black edge for contrast against the background pattern papers. So while the ink on that's drying, I'm going to stick the squares down. With the photos you'll see in a bit, I have scrapped these again since this, and I forgot. So yeah, I think maybe I'm going to lift the photos off this layout, because I'm really happy with the layout when it finishes, and put different photos on to make up for the fact that I've scrapped those photos again with another couple of photos. So I've got Hey Little Magpie stamps here. So these are stitch design stamps that Sarah designed, and I'm just shaping them, because the photopolymer, I'm shaping them to the edge of the circle. So I've done stamped like the image face down, shaped them to the circle, and then just stuck the block on. And now I'm just going to ink them up in the Memento ink, and then that gives me a stitch border around in 3 different spots around that circle that I'm really happy with. So you'll see there the photos are from Florence. So that little alleyway that led to the place we had lunch when we went to Florence. So as I've said, I've since scrapped these again because I forgot I'd already scrapped them. But I've scrapped them with then the photos of us having lunch. So I'll keep that layout, and I'm just going to swap the photos out from this one. I don't think I stuck anything on top of the photos on this one, so it should be easy enough for me just to lift the photos off and swap them out. Loads of embellishments in this. In the embellishment packs, I think there's 2 of everything. So there's absolutely tons. I love the flower clusters in it. And then you've got those speech bubbles as well with the matching dies and stamps too for those speech bubbles. I go through stickers first of all. I don't think I use any of the stickers on this. I think it is just all die cuts. Oh, quick swig of tea. So yeah, I choose this happy day die cut for my title. And you'll see there it's not standing out. So that does change. I do change what I do with that to make it stand out. I'm really happy with how that turns out. So it's got some of the flower clusters there below the photo with the camera. You'll see I don't do 3 clusters of embellishments, I do 2, but they are on a left to right diagonal, the way we read, so it still leads your eye across the page. Just using out a journaling block now, and I think I end up with a little speech bubble that's got today on the top of it. See that in a minute. There we go. Yeah, that's the one. Pulling out some labels just for the date for when I get around to that bit, and a couple of other little things that I think I might use. And camera's going up on 3D foam because it needs to come up above the photo. I said I don't then glue the other side of the photo, the camera onto the photo, so I am going to be able to lift that up. Those little random bits of embellishment are still sat around the page, and yeah, that'll get all tidied up in a bit. So I decided to put one of the ladies holding the speech bubbles on there. I was thinking I might put the date on that, or depending on what photos I change up, because I do add a label on which the date will go on. So depending on what I change that up to, got a photo to change it up to, depends on what I end up putting on there. So I've got a strip of the black card from matting the white background piece, the white piece, from layering that up, and I am just going to stick the title onto that. I then with my scissors, I just fussy cut a border around it. So I forgot to have my hand under the camera when I was cutting it. That's why I've cut that out, so you can't, so that's not showing my doing that bit. So yeah, I'm just sticking everything down now. So once I've stuck all of these bits down, I then grab my, I think it's a pack of bits and pieces from Hey Little Magpie. It's the fabric flowers, I think it is, that I grab. I think I've got them on my desk somewhere. And I add some of those. Just going to stick this cluster here at the top. And then, oh yeah, label. There we go. I do add a label. So that's going to have the date on it. Yep, so some of these little flowers from Hey Little Magpie, just dot these around. So these are bits and pieces, and then once I've glued them on, I use my wet glue for these. And then once they're glued down, I come in with sequins. I go mad with these sequins. So this is, I think it was the March embellishment box. Yeah, it's all green, so it's the March embellishment box. And I go a bit mad with the sequins. I actually regret the amount of sequins I put on this. But looking back at this photo now, it doesn't look as bad as I remember it. I do cut some of this out. I'm not going to make you watch me stick every single sequin. So I've poured some sequins in a pot, and then I'm just going to dot glue around, randomly dot the glue about, and then just stick the sequins onto the bits of glue. And then I do the same with the top, randomly dot the glue about, and then dot sequins on them. Got some close-ups at the end, and don't forget to check out the playlist for 30 Days of Sketches. I'll have a link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.